Joining us now is Mattie Duppler, the founder of the consulting firm Forward Strategies and a senior fellow at the National Taxpayers Union. So, Mattie, I want to talk about the economy more broadly, but really quick, since this oil situation is happening today, it's unlike anything that I've ever really seen because it seems weird when we're concerned about low oil prices. It seems good right off the bat, but people tell me that there's a little bit more to this than just that. So when we see this type of price war going on with Saudi Arabia and Russia and seeing the effects here at home, is this a bad thing for the consumer in the long term, even though this does look like smaller prices?
Yeah, well, listen, I think you described it perfectly at the outset, which is that the drop in oil demand mimics what we're seeing in the broader economy, right? When the demand drops out of the bottom, there's very limited response that governments can do to try and buoy prices in a way that isn't economically destructive. You're right. Energy prices being lower would typically be a very good thing for American households. It's a fixed cost for American households, and it's regressive, meaning it takes up more of a low-income family's budget than a high-income family's. But the fact that we've seen oil prices drop is aided by the fact that nobody wants it. Nobody's buying oil because nobody's driving their car. Planes aren't flying anywhere. And the fact that we have industries in this country that are committed and very much rely on oil prices is very problematic. It's not just the fact that we have industries that aren't buying oil. It's the fact that we have refineries here who rely on importing crude in order to power their own businesses. So the lower prices will create serious problems for the economy if they continue. But we do at least know where some of this is coming from, which is just that there's a worldwide glut because we're producing too much and no one can use it since everyone's locked in their homes.
And Mattie, this is really interesting to me, too, because it's at a time of uncertainty, and economics does not like uncertainty, especially when it comes to investors and things of that sort. So theoretically, we are supposed to open our economy in the near future. It's just a matter of when and how much. A lot of people saying that'll probably be a more incremental, regional type of approach. Acknowledging what's going on right now with the economy, do you think that it'll be able to turn on with the flip of a switch the same way that the government was able to ask people to stop going back to work? Or will this be a slow, incremental type of process leading back to hopefully where we were before?
Well, it will need to be a slow process because what we know about the economic disruption that's happening now is that it's a consequence of a public health crisis. This isn't like 2008, 2009, where financial decay came immediately after the slowdown in the global financial markets. What's happening right now is the result of a public health crisis. So we need a public health response to be measured in order for people to have confidence to get back online. Because remember, the American economy is powered by consumer spending. Unless consumers have confidence that they can participate in this economy safely, they won't do it. They'll stay in their homes. They won't spend their money. They won't try to go back to normal because they'll be too afraid for their own safety. So I do think that what the administration has laid out, guardrails for how states can make that decision to get back online safely, is an extremely important step towards getting back to normal. And we had a very strong economy headed into this crisis. So it's possible for us to regain some of that strength at the back end, but we need to do so in a way that guarantees Americans safety and allows them to participate in the economy in a way where they have confidence that they will be able to do so in a safe manner.
And pulls back up what you're saying, too. In fact, in Gallup last week, I saw that it's about 70% of Americans want to wait and see what happens before we open things back up. And I think that speaks to what you're saying, for example, that if things were to just open next week, I don't think people would feel necessarily comfortable going to a restaurant, going back on airplanes, thing of that sort. So I think the trade-off there for a lot of people who may be wanting to see the economy open sooner rather than later is the trade-off of, do you want to see an anemic type of growth, or do you want to see the economy kind of hit the ground running, get back to normal in a way that people are more confident, that consumer spending that you're talking about? But right now, a big emphasis is on small businesses. And right now, we're looking to get that PPP program back out so people can keep people on their payrolls. We don't have to see small businesses firing people. Does that need to get out urgently? I mean, I hear from a lot of people right now going without paychecks. Does that need to happen soon?
Yes, that is absolutely a crucial lifeline as we continue to navigate these uncertain times. Listen, the more that we can do to keep workers connected with their employer during this uncertainty, the easier it will be to get the economy back online, because then that business still has workers that they can bring back in. They don't have to rehire, retrain, and have that lag that would be associated with a large downturn and massive unemployment. So that PPP program needs to be refunded. Congress needs to get their act together and get more funds into that program so that small businesses can stay afloat and workers can retain not only that employer relationship, but also their benefits as they weather a very uncertain couple of weeks and couple of months.
I think that's very well said, because I've talked to people every week now at this point who are missing paychecks. They don't know exactly how they're going to pay for rent. And I know that there's unemployment benefits for a lot of people, and that's a very good thing. I give credit to the government for doing that. But, I mean, those $1,200 paychecks, some people still haven't gotten them yet. And this has come as the first of the month has already passed. Another one is coming up. It's a scary time for a lot of people. So I think you're exactly right for saying that the government needs to figure out this issue very soon, put partisanship to the side and get things going. I think that's very well said. Mattie Duppler, I can't thank you enough for coming on tonight and breaking down the economy.
Thank
Never
you.
an easy topic to talk about. Thank you for coming on.